What if the greatest play in baseball history didn't happen on the field? What if it happened in the sky, on a stormy night, with lives hanging in the balance? This is the story of Roberto Clemente, baseball's warrior and humanity's hero. Carolina, Puerto Rico, 1934. Long before the lights of stadiums ever reflected in his eyes, Roberto Clemente was just a kid with a stick for a bat and a fire in his chest that no one could put out. He didn't grow up in wealth. His glove was made of stitched rags. His baseballs were whatever his hands could find. But he had speed. He had strength. And more than anything, he had purpose. Even as a teenager, people whispered, "That kid is different." At 18, he was already drawing attention from scouts. Not just because he could throw a ball from the outfield to home on a line, but because he did it with soul. In 1954, the Brooklyn Dodgers signed him for $5,000 with a $10,000 signing bonus. But there was a catch. Instead of celebrating his talent, they tried to hide it. They sent him to the minor leagues, hoping no one else would notice. In Montreal, in rural America, Clemente slept on buses, ate alone in diners, if they served him. His dark skin, his accent, his pride, they didn't fit the mold. But Clemente didn't ask for sympathy. He asked for respect. When the Pittsburgh Pirates took notice and claimed him in the Rule 5 draft, it was more than a lucky break. It was a reckoning. Clemente walked into the MLB in 1955 not as a token, but as a storm. And when they called him Bob in the papers, he corrected them. Because his name, Roberto Clemente, wasn't just a name. It was a statement, a declaration that he was proud, Puerto Rican, and not about to shrink to fit anyone's box. Despite his preference for his given name, that practice continued on some baseball cards and persisted throughout the 1960s. He didn't just break into the league, he kicked the damn door down. Once Roberto Clemente stepped onto the diamond, the game changed. He didn't just play baseball, he orchestrated it. From the crack of his bat to the thunder at his throws, Clemente commanded attention like few ever have. He was a right fielder with the reflexes of a cat and an arm like a rocket launcher. Runners didn't dare stretch a single into a double, not with number 21 waiting in the outfield. He made the impossible look effortless. The majestic throws, the diving catches, the wall-crashing grabs. Clemente didn't play safe. He played all out every inning. At the plate, pure artistry. Clemente wasn't a home run machine. He was a precision striker. He read pitchers like open books. He'd go opposite field, line it down the line, drop in singles, and lace screaming doubles. In 1967, he hit a blistering .357. He won 4 batting titles. And in 1966, he took home the National League MVP, proving he wasn't just good, he was undeniable. But Clemente saved his loudest answers for the biggest stages. The 1971 World Series, Pirates vs. Orioles. Clemente put on a clinic. He batted .414 across the series, hit a crucial home run, and dominated the outfield like a one-man army. He was everywhere, unstoppable. At 37, playing with injuries, he didn't just win the series, he was named World Series MVP. Then came the final swing. September 30th, 1972. His last regular season at-bat. One clean crack, one soaring line drive, and just like that, hit number 3,000. A perfect poetic exit from the batter's box. Despite the hate, despite the doubt, despite the odds stacked high, Roberto Clemente didn't just survive the game, he mastered it. On the field, Roberto Clemente was electric. But off the field, that's where he became something even greater. To millions, Clemente wasn't just a baseball player. He was a symbol, a beacon of hope for the unheard, the overlooked, the marginalized. He was a proud Afro-Latino man in a time when the world tried to erase both parts of that identity. But Clemente never watered down who he was. He refused to be silent. He demanded dignity, corrected people who mispronounced his name, not for ego, but for representation. He stood up to a media that belittled Latin American players, reminding the world, we are not second class. And while others hid from politics or stayed safe, Clemente leaned in. He spoke out against racism in America, against poverty in Latin America, against injustice wherever he saw it. He didn't use his platform to elevate himself, he used it to elevate others. Every offseason, while many stars relaxed, Clemente was on the ground, delivering food to the hungry, raising money for hospitals, and mentoring kids back home in Puerto Rico. He didn't just give back, he led. And he carried the burden of representation with grace and grit. For every young Latino player coming up, Clemente was proof that you could keep your accent, your roots, your soul, and still be the best. Because for Roberto Clemente, baseball wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something bigger, a life dedicated to service, a mission to uplift, a legacy built not just on wins, but on love. December 31st, 1972. While most of the world prepared to welcome a new year, Roberto Clemente was preparing for something else, a final mission of mercy. A massive earthquake had leveled Nicaragua just days before. Cities turned to rubble. Thousands were dead. Tens of thousands more were starving. Clemente sprang into action, not as a celebrity, but as a servant. He coordinated relief shipments from Puerto Rico, filling planes with food, water, and medical supplies. But word reached him that the first 3 shipments were hijacked by corrupt officials, never reaching those in need. Most people would have stopped there. Most would have said, I tried. But Roberto Clemente wasn't most people. He said, if I go, they won't steal it. They wouldn't dare. Because his presence meant accountability. His name meant hope. He kissed his family goodbye, walked to the plane, an old DC-7 cargo aircraft. Overloaded, under-maintained. The kind of plane most wouldn't dare fly. Not in good weather, and especially not in the stormy Caribbean night. At 9:20 p.m., the aircraft took off from Isla Verde Airport. Within minutes, it vanished from radar. The search lasted for days. Bits of wreckage washed ashore. His body never found. But one thing was certain. Clemente died exactly as he lived. With courage, with love, and with a purpose bigger than himself. He didn't die chasing a trophy. He died delivering hope. Clemente's body was never found, but his legacy is everywhere. MLB honors him with the Roberto Clemente Award, given not for stats, but for selflessness. His number 21 lives on in murals, in hearts, and in every child who picks up a glove and believes they can change the world. Roberto Clemente wasn't just a star on the field. He was a spark for the world. He lit up every stadium he played in, and every life he touched. And though his plane never landed, his legacy never left. His story reminds us, the true measure of greatness isn't just what you do when the crowd is cheering, it's what you do when no one's watching. Here on Baseball Spark, we don't just tell stories about the game, we tell the stories that ignite something in you. So if this story lit a fire in your chest, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories of purpose, passion, and legends, and tell us in the comments, what does Roberto Clemente mean to you? Because baseball isn't just a game, it's a spark that can change the world.